Hey guys, welcome to goldfries. Word just came in that Computex 2020 has been postponed. I just got this news when I was preparing my dinner. So now I'm filming this to talk a bit about Computex 2020. Now, as you guys know, Computex is my favorite event. I'm there every year to provide coverage and of course take picture of the booth babes. So many of you are fans. I'm waiting for that one. So I guess this year that will not be happening. So back to Computex. Let's start by talking about. Let's talk about what's going to be different this year. Even just by looking at the news, I know it's going to be unlike previous years because first thing first, let's talk about the dates. Usually, Computex is 5 days. It starts on the Tuesday and the last day is on the Saturday. Every year it's the same. Last year is from May 28th. Then you have the 29th, 30th, 31st, and the 1st of June, which is Saturday, which is the last day. It's always like that. But this year, September 28th, 29th, 30th, 3 days. So the number of days has scaled down from 5 to 3. Then let's talk about the size, the scale of the exhibition. Now, the exhibition halls are massive, usually all over the place. In some years, it's so taxing. You guys probably know I have an assistant going with me because it's sometimes when the events clash, you just can't split yourself. You just need someone else to cover the other place. So the events are typically like Nangang Exhibition Center, main hall, and recently they opened Tinex 2, and there are other various brands like Acer will have, for example, had their own exhibition at the Xingyi area, and then there's other brands, Gigabyte at Taipei 101, and so on and so forth. Even other brands, Gigabyte is all over the place. They're at TWTC 2 and so many other areas. And then there's the other brands who are not officially, but in Computex in the Grand Hyatt Hotel. So even you don't have to remember everything that I said. Basically, it's massive. Okay, 5 days is pretty much not enough to cover every single thing. But this year is different. From what I saw, it's only to be confined in the Tinex hall. I've been to the Tinex hall. It's not that huge. Even in the Nangang main hall, there's like multiple floors. Tinex, I'm not sure about the floors. I've been there, but I've been there for just a short while to visit a few brands. Yeah, it's not that big. So we're talking about a massive scale down. We must understand that most of the times, if you look at us, when we cover the events, we are covering main brands, Asus, Gigabyte, MSI, ASRock, whatever, all those big brands. But the ones that you don't see are the ones that are the money makers for Titra, the event organizer, for Computex, which are the other halls, they're the OEMs. They are selling ICs, chips, switches, whatever, all these kind of things. So we're talking about these guys, and usually they are from China and Japan. They are probably not coming in for obvious reasons. So we're looking at really, really huge scale down of the event. So I don't think there's many things that I can cover. And then there's the other thing about restriction. Now, every other country is pretty much on a closed barrier right now. And before the barrier was closed, you guys know about the quarantine thing, right? So even if 4 months down the road, right now it's already coming to the end of March. We're about 6 months away from the intended Computex date. How will the pandemic turn out to be? No one knows. It could actually be worsened. Even if it's better, let's talk. I'm sure the restrictions will be on. I'll be surprised if the restrictions will be totally off. When the restrictions is on, you guys know the drill. The restriction is 2 weeks quarantine. So if I were to attend Computex day 1 on 28, I need to be there 2 weeks earlier. So I need to be there around 14, 13. I don't know how they count that. If they count day 1 as my day of arrival, yeah, around that. So I need to spend 14 days there. 14 unproductive days. Means 14 days locked up in the room, no access to my computer hardware. So I'll be just in my room going cuckoo like in a prison, just to wait for Computex to happen. And it's not cheap. remember, we're not Americans. We are paying in Malaysian ringgit. And to you guys, if you are paying in USD, that's cheap for you guys. Malaysian ringgit, we are paying a lot more because even our currency is weaker compared to Taiwan's currency. So let's say if my airfare will cost probably a little over RM 1000 already. And let's talk about lodging. Even if I manage to get a reasonable lodging for RM 80 per night, 2 weeks stay, how much would that cost? That's 10, 12, another 1000 plus. That's a lot of money just for a quarantine. We're not talking content production. I'll be locked up in the room. Okay, that's called self-quarantine. So I'll be sort of like a resident in a self-made prison for 2 weeks. That does not make any sense for me to spend 2 weeks of unproductive time at my own cost just to cover Computex. So whether I'll be going, at present, I'm going to say it's unlikely that I'll be going. So with that, I guess this is just to tell you ahead that you can't be expecting much of a content for Computex this year. You can check out my videos. I'm going to put a playlist up somewhere and down there somewhere. Yeah, I'm definitely going to miss Taiwan. I really love the country, really love the food. I'm going to miss my beef noodle and onigiri fix. But I guess with the pandemic being like that, it's not a matter of choice. So hopefully if things go well and there's no restrictions, then I probably can drop by to provide a little bit of coverage and hang out over in Taipei. Alright, so that's it for this video. Thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Do remember to subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and bye bye.